Hey guys, so today we are going to look at digestion. So what is digestion? It's the process by which your body breaks down food into small nutrient molecules. The digestive system has three main functions: to break down food into molecules the body can use, absorb molecules into the blood and carry it throughout the body, and eliminate waste from the body. So there are two types of digestion, the first being chemical, the second one being mechanical. And we're going to talk about the differences between those two here in just a second. Chemical digestion is when chemicals produced by the body break down food into their smaller chemical building blocks. So when chewing a starch, such as bread, enzymes from the saliva mix with it, causing it to break down into sugar molecules the body can use. So that example there, you do not have to copy down. Mechanical digestion is when food is physically broken down into smaller pieces. So think of like chewing a sandwich. That chewing action is what actually breaks it down. So that would be mechanical digestion. And again, you do not have to write down the example there. The mouth. This is where digestion starts. The smell of food can cause you to actually start releasing saliva, which is part of that chemical digestion. And saliva is an important part of the digestion process. Your teeth actually do the mechanical digestion there. They start to physically break down your food. The incisors and canine teeth cut and tear the food into bite-sized pieces. As your teeth are doing this, saliva is mixing with the food, causing it to turn into a slippery mass. The saliva also starts to break down the food chemically, as we just said, into a molecular form so that the nutrients can be absorbed by the body. And so those are three of your salivatory glands there. So next comes your esophagus, which is basically just a pipe. Has two main pipes. The first is your windpipe. When swallowing food, your epiglottis, which is just a flap of tissue, covers this part to avoid food entering into your lungs. The other pipe is called your esophagus. And this is a diagram showing your esophagus and your trachea. Again, they're shared by two systems, but we're going to look at that a little later. The esophagus is a muscular tube that comes from your mouth and goes to your stomach. The tube is lined with mucus, which is a thick, slippery substance that is produced by the body. So yes, when you get that idea of mucus, that is indeed what it is. The substance allows food to travel much easier. Food only stays here for about 6 to 10 seconds. So what is the stomach? When food leaves the esophagus, it enters the stomach, which is a J-shaped pouch that is muscular and located inside the abdomen. When eating, your stomach expands to hold the food. Both types of digestion happen here. Mechanical digestion, although you don't actually feel it, your food is churning and mixing in your stomach, which is the mechanical digestion that happens there. It's an action similar to like a washing machine. Chemical digestion also happens here with the introduction of two chemicals, pepsin and hydrochloric acid. Pepsin is an enzyme that the body makes, and hydrochloric acid is another fluid produced by the body. It's a very strong acid, and these two kind of work together in order to break down your food. The acid enables pepsin to work, and it also kills many bacteria that you swallow. Without this acid, your stomach would not function properly. Although this acid is extremely strong, it does not burn through the walls of the stomach. This is because you have a thick layer of mucus inside of the stomach, and those cells that get worn down are replaced really quickly. Food only stays there for a few hours, depending on actually what it is that you've eaten. The lighter the food, the less it stays here. The heavier the food, or the meatier, what have you, the food, the longer it stays there. What is the small intestine? Food travels from the stomach to what's called the small intestine. This is part of the digestive process where most of the chemicals in digestion take place. Although it is only about 6 meters long, it is only about 2 to 3 centimeters wide. So that's how it gets the name small intestine, is for its diameter. Here, food has been mechanically digested, and starches and proteins have been chemically digested. However, fats have not. Almost all chemical digestion and absorption takes place here. Absorption is basically the process by which nutrient molecules pass through the wall of your digestive system into your blood. As food travels through the small intestine, the liver, gallbladder, pancreas all play a key role in the chemical digestion. The liver is located in the upper right portion of the abdomen. It is the largest internal organ of the body. It is also a chemical factory that breaks down medication, eliminates nitrogen, and produces bile. Bile is a substance that breaks up fat particles. Bile flows from the liver into the gallbladder, which is the organ that stores bile. After eating, bile passes through a tube from the gallbladder into the small intestine. Bile, however, is not an enzyme. It simply physically breaks down large fat molecules into smaller ones. The droplets can be chemically broken down by the pancreas. The pancreas is a triangular organ that lies between the stomach and the first part of the small intestine. It produces enzymes which break down proteins, starches, and fats. How does absorption occur? Absorption also takes place in the small intestine after the food has been chemically and mechanically digested. Now the nutrients can be taken in by the body. Inside the small intestines are millions of tiny finger-shaped structures called villi. Villi absorb nutrients from their surface and pass them through the center, which is filled with blood vessels. The blood then carries the nutrients throughout the body. Villi also increase the surface area because of how small they are. They actually do increase the surface area of the small intestine. Large intestine is one of the last stages. Food travels from the small intestines into the large intestine. At this stage, most nutrients have been absorbed. The last section is about 1.5 meters long, and it runs up the right side of the abdomen, across the upper abdomen, and down the left. It contains bacteria which feed on the passing materials. They normally do not cause disease, but they do make certain vitamins like vitamin K. As the material moves through, water is absorbed into the bloodstream, and the remaining material is ready for elimination from the body. The large intestine ends in a short tube called the rectum, where waste material is present in solid form. The waste is eliminated from the body by the anus, which is a muscular opening at the end of the anus. All right, guys. Hopefully this helped, and we will talk about it more in class. Thanks.